Asa's Black Form, and we are back with episode 1135 of One Piece. To the sea where my father is, the future Bonnie chooses. Toei kicked this one off with a banger. Last we left, Kuma was getting a call in the East Blue from what seemed to be Dragon. While in the East, Kuma stumbles upon a 16-year-old Luffy in the mountains training. This is just before he heads off to sea. He's putting the finishing touches on the Gum Gum battle axe before he heads out. He's also scaring the animals around. They all have lumps on their head from Luffy using them for training. It always feels good to get back with our Straw Hats during a break, like at least see what they're up to or what they're doing during. We're seeing that Kuma knew about Luffy even at these times, before Thriller Bark, before Sabaody. So, Kuma feels Dragon in on what he saw and starts to pry a little. He notices that Dragon is very familiar with this area and seems to be drawn to it. That's the same thing that Ivankov said. Also, there was a strange boy in the woods. Dragon shrugs off Kuma's conversation and tells him that that type of talk will get him killed. A parent's greatest weak spot is their child. Kuma comprehends what he's saying and decides to leave it alone. After another check on Luffy, it seems, Kuma gets a call to go help fend off some pirates. Time to go do that warlord job. So, Kuma writes Bonnie letters as much as possible, being the sweet father that he is. Bonnie knows that he's gonna stay in contact. But back at the church in Sorbet, no mail has arrived. We see that outside, one of the news carriers is dropping off the newspaper and Kuma's letter to Bonnie. Alpha tells one of her colleagues to take the mail to the church, but when Bonnie checks for it, there's only the paper there, no letter. Alpha's been throwing Kuma's letters to Bonnie away, and this has been going on for a while. Whenever he gets a chance, and at times when he shouldn't, he still makes time to write Bonnie. Feeling down and bored, Bonnie transforms into a buccaneer form and asks Gyo-Gyo to fight. Him and another guy named Pert are playing Jenga. While they're going at it, Alpha heads to the church to administer medicine. As she walks in, she catches a glimpse of Bonnie transformed, but before she can say anything, she's distracted by Queen Connie. Alpha thinks that maybe her eyes were playing tricks on her. While she's giving Bonnie medicine, she says that it's nasty. She tells her that that's how you know that the medicine is good, but really it's just candy with the bad taste that she's given to Bonnie for no reason. She also may be enjoying keeping the letters from Bonnie and Kuma. Back at Laboratory 8, Vegapunk is talking with Stussy about all the developments that he's been making on the island. He's already removed his forehead and up and his brain, and already added the Apple antenna to connect to it, so Punk Records is technically already up and running. The overall accomplishment with Punk Records would be the internet. Anybody anywhere would be able to connect to it and pull, download, or upload whatever information that they have or need. The World Wide Web. The Great Big Brain. Vegapunk also mentions that he initially intended all the holograms and the tech from Egghead, including Punk Records, to initially be at Punk Hazard. That also makes sense for the namesake, Punk Records at Punk Hazard. Kuma is also in for another checkup here. Him and Stussy meet, and she makes a joke about him losing his free will and her being a clone that has free will. She doesn't seem to have any confidence in the fact that she has free will, but Vegapunk reiterates for her that she is human, not just a clone. So maybe Stussy has some personality traits of the original Buckingham Stussy, or maybe she can freely think for herself without being influenced by her DNA. Vegapunk also has to explain to Kuma what it really means to lose his free will. Not him just technically being dead, but his body still would be moving and influencing the world around him without his control. Having about a year until the process is complete, Vegapunk intends to keep a bit of Kuma's will around for as long as possible. Kuma once again writes to Bonnie. Speaking of Bonnie, back at Sorbet, it's her 9th birthday. She's celebrating with friends, but she's missing the person that she wants to be there the most. And it's starting to get to her that she hasn't heard a word from him. Over with the revolutionaries, Kuma keeps popping up on various battlefields and helping out, and then leaving without saying a word. Bonnie is now fully healed and the stones are completely gone. She tries to go outside finally, but is stopped by Alpha. Alpha definitely enjoys torturing and controlling Bonnie while she's being captive at home. This time she goes as far as to even leave bruises on Bonnie's wrist. After she leaves, Queen Connie tells everybody that Alpha and her associates are actually government agents. And they're actually shocked. Not the brightest bunch. The same can be said for Alpha, who got drunk and blew her cover in town. This also adds to the suspicion of Kuma not sending letters. Queen Connie tells Bonnie to take Gyo-Gyo and the boys out to sea and find her father. They come up with the plan, and Bonnie turns into Queen Connie and slips past Alpha to freedom. Me seeing Bonnie's reaction to finally being back in the sunlight had me thinking. Bonnie and Kuma's story is that of those who constantly jump through hoops for things that anybody else is normally allotted for zero effort. Why do they keep having to sacrifice everything just for a little? Health, but now the person that you want to share that health with is gone. They could never catch a break. Now Bonnie's nearly free and Kuma's nowhere to be found. We end this episode with Bonnie making it to the edge of the island, where her crew, Yo-Yo and the boys, are waiting for her with her new pirate ship, the Juri Margarita, though all isn't clear before the Bonnie pirates can set sail. Alpha walks into the church and notices that Queen Connie is still there. It does not take Alpha long to chase down the imposter Bonnie and her pirate crew, who is just now setting sail. Alpha, who is government trained and Cypherpole, has access to 6 powers, so we see her Geppo or moonwalk towards the ship. She spots the Bonnie pirates and engages. Bonnie, facing her fears and reminiscing of Kuma and Nika, ages into an adult and engages Alpha. Bonnie leaps into the sky and uses distorted future, Nika-like future, and gives Alpha a Gear 3rd punch like Luffy. And this is where we start the tale of Jewelry Bonnie of the worst generation.